Good afternoon, everybody. Just jumped on here, let everybody know that the midweek vibes this week. My co-host had some personal business to take care of, and so we won't be doing the podcast today. We will finish the steps 9 through 12 next week. But I mean, if enough people get on here, we can do some questions and answers. If you like, I'll hang out for a minute. Also, we have reached our goal to be able to go over to start doing it on the Midweek Vibes page. Hey, Quan, what's up, my brother? Hope you're doing well. I see you living that life. That's what's up. Proud of you, man. Yeah, we've reached the goal to go live on Midweek Vibes page. So I'll be transferring it over there next week. And you can go in and tune in on that page. But yeah, if we get some people on here that want questions and answers, we can do that. I have no problem with that. But we'll pick up on the steps 9 through 12 next week, and then have another topic for the following. But Virginia's fine. She just had some personal business today to take care of. But you know me, I like to, I'll answer any questions, story times, whatever y'all want. And if we don't get anybody on, that's fine. We'll just continue next week. We've been doing good with our viewers. It's been steadily going up as far as how many views we're getting, so and subscriptions, and so it's been a process. Just learning this stuff too. Like neither one of us have ever done it before, so we're just learning as we go, and trying to put out the best we can. We've got a lot of feedback, comments, emails and stuff. And we take all suggestions. We want to make the best product that we can. Obviously, we can't, satisfy everyone, or everyone ain't maybe not agree with the things we say sometimes. But, that comes with the business. These are just all personal experiences for entertainment purposes only. We are both clinicians, and we do practice mental health, addiction, domestic violence, anger management, men's specific groups, women's specific groups, you name it, we do it. But on here, we just spark conversations, spark debates, talk about things, get people talking. That's the main thing, just to get people talking about the things, that we discuss. But we did have some people, a lot of people liking the content. We had a few that had some suggestions, and we took those suggestions and try to take in accountability, what everybody is saying as far as that goes. So just doing our best and having fun with it. That's the main thing. We're just having fun with it. Something fun to do, a way to express ourselves, use our knowledge, and maybe help somebody, especially if you're out there struggling, or, still in your addiction, or struggling with mental health, or struggling in relationships. By all means, reach out. Hey, Richard, what's up, my brother? Good to see you on here, man. I've been seeing you on there. Yeah, Richard, that's a tough thing, man. Sometimes, the legal route is the only way we can go on that, Richard. If they're holding our children from us or won't allow us to see them, a lot of times the men don't have any rights when it comes to that. So, you was in my group, And so sometimes the best route with that is to go the legal route to get your, visitation set by the courts, so that when you do go to get your child, you can't be refused. And if she does refuse, then she's in contempt of court. Once you have that paperwork in place and on you, if she refuses to let you see your child or take your child with you, then you can have that paperwork and she can actually be charged with contempt of court. So it's a process. It's a long process. I've counseled many men and, that are going through this process, trying to see their child and, break up or whatever happens, and then they're not allowed to see them. So it's definitely a journey, but, I know you, Richard, you would never give up on your child. So it'll be worth it. And I've seen you with your children. So you're an awesome dad. Just remember that. And, all men deserve to see their children if, they're willing and want to be. So I'll be praying for you, Richard, and I know you'll do the right thing. But yeah, good to see you, man. Yeah, yeah. But Richard, what you got to understand too is, a lot of times breakups, people's feelings get hurt. And she's probably still hurting or mourning the relationship, possibly still loves you, and reacting out of pain and hurt. So don't be too hard on her, because, she's reacting out of that pain and hurt. And so, yeah, unfortunately it's directed in the wrong way. But we see that in men, and then women do those same things when you're ending that relationship, and especially if you've been with them a considerable amount of time, you guys share a kid together, pain and hurt of that relationship and mourning that relationship, it takes time. So just be patient with her. I see a lot of men, I hate my baby mama or this and that and all these things. And it's like, you laid down and had a child with her. So you obviously loved her at one point. You obviously respected her, and she was good enough to have your child. We just got to give grace, when the breakups and things, because we're acting out of that pain. And unfortunately, the children in relationships sometimes, catch them strays because of that. So I understand, Richard, sure do. And you're not alone. If you need any help, reach out to me at any time. I'm always here for you. Always here. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Anger and resentments won't get us anywhere. The children will get hurt, and I'm sure, you're experiencing some pain as well. Like, you've been with this woman, you had a child with this woman, so. But us as men, we got to do better with, recognizing our pain, acknowledging it, going through it, feeling it, allowing it to process, instead of trying to be macho and saying, I don't care what she do, I don't like her anyway, she's this, she's that. No, you loved her at one point enough to have a baby, so being hurt is okay. Crying is okay as men, all those things. So give yourself that time to process it and heal from it as well. It's just like, the stages of grief when we're mourning a death. We still mourn a relationship when we're no longer in it. There's a mourning process to that. So allow yourself to feel it and go through it and understand it. And also, while we're on it, men don't take enough time to, heal from relationships. We just jump right into that next one, and then, we take toxic traits in that relationship with us. Without healing, we take all that baggage from the next one right into the next one, because we don't take that time between that and heal ourselves. And so therefore, yeah, we just wind up in one toxic relationship after another. And I'm guilty. I've done it. Fear of being alone, many different fears accompany that. So we really have to be careful. Yes, Richard, for sure, man, for sure. But just take the time to heal, Richard, and because when you heal and you're whole and not broken, your child benefits from that. So just make sure that you take your time to heal, because when you're not good, the family structure ain't good. And your child's not good. So you being whole and healed is the most important, Richard, so you can be that good father for your child. Shannon, what's up? How you been? Hope you're doing well. Right, Richard. Right. And that's good. That's good that you're recognizing that and seeing that and taking that time. It's important. But I don't think us as men really understand that concept is too well. But, and like I said, I've been guilty. I'm not here preaching or, saying something I ain't already experienced, because I have. So it's important for us. It really is. Good to see some people on here I ain't seen in a while or talked to in a while. That's what's up. Appreciate you guys. Like I said, when I started Midweek Vibe, my co-host has some personal things to do today, some personal business, so she wasn't able to attend. But I wanted to just jump on here and talk to you guys, and we'll be back next week with the conclusion to the steps 9 through 12, talking about them. We'll be back, and I also mentioned that our Midweek Vibes page has enough followers on it now. Thank all you guys that liked and followed. We can go live on there now, so we'll probably switch it over. I'll make some announcements or some videos that let everybody know just to switch to the Midweek Vibes next week, and we'll be on that page, so it'll be our first one on there. That's an accomplishment. Our views have been going up steadily each week, so excited about that more people are seeing it, and that more people are interacting. I really appreciate that. Appreciate all the love. We got some good things coming up, and just continue to grow. We're both new at it. We both didn't know too much about this thing when we started. We just kind of jumped feet first into it, and let's do it. Let's have fun and see what's up. There's also a Midweek Vibe YouTube page. If you guys could go like and share that, subscribe to that, that would be awesome. All the videos that we do live will be over there. So we're gonna grow it, and we're gonna try to make it stronger and continue to have fun. That's it. It's something fun to do, and we just want to have fun with it, and hopefully help some people. That's what we do. Me and Virginia, we've been in this field for over 10 years, and we just want to have fun with it. What sometimes counseling can be stressful. It's mentally draining at times. We take on a lot of hearing different people's stories and their experiences and where they're at, and it's mentally draining sometimes. So we figure this is a good way for us to share, have fun, interact, and help. It's for entertainment purposes only. I'm not being a counselor on this. I'm just two people, or however many people's on here talking at the family table. So that's just the goal on that. But if you do need counseling, please reach out to me. I am available. Mental health, addiction, domestic violence, anger management, all those things. But yeah. Hey, Ma, on there. My number one fan, my mother, is on here. How you doing? Hope you're doing good, Ma. Hope you, I know I talked to you, but I hope you had a great Mother's Day. Let me see if she answers, if she's listening. You there, Ma? Say hi. Yeah, oh, there you go. There you go. Okay. I wanted to, dang it. Let me, hey, Gina, hi. How you? It's been a minute. Hope you're doing great. I hope you're doing fine. Love you too, Ma. If you guys wait 1 second, I want to read something from my mom. I hope you guys don't mind, but I told her I was going to send it, but let me hold on for 1 second. Sorry. I wanted to, since my mom's on here, I wanted to read her something. I hope you guys don't mind. Let's see. So for those of you who don't know, when I was in college in 2000, I think it was 15 or 16, I was part of a book club there. And, I was doing some writing, and I got in this book club, and I met this gentleman, and he took a liking to some of my writings and stuff, and I wind up being a part of a book, my story. And there was 4 of us in there that was writing this book, and we shared our stories, and it was fun. It was a fun experience. But so now, as it coming this long, this many years later, I've been through so much more, and graduating, getting my master's degree, and all those things. So I was like, man, that's just, the book was fine, and it shared just a piece of my story. So I wanted to write the full book, and as many of you know, I got 6 children, so the original idea was to write something, give it to them, have 6 copies for them, so that, they could read it and know about who I was, and get some understanding maybe later, because also, as many of you know, I missed a lot of time with them because not being such a good father, and I can admit that, and I should have been there more, and I try to be now, but so I just started writing this thing, and it just got bigger and bigger and bigger, and now I'm pretty close to like having everything done, and so I'm gonna try to publish it and get it out there. So, and hopefully everybody enjoys it. It's just about my life, and when I was doing it, I was kind of like writing, I was putting my family in it and stuff. And then I was like, I don't want to put my family in it. This is my story. This is how I seen things. Even though we lived in the same house, we could have seen things totally different or had different perspectives. That goes on a lot. So I just wanted it to be this through my eyes, and talk about my experiences, my feelings, and things throughout my life. So, with that being said, I didn't want to do that. So, but now it's coming together, and it's been a long time coming, but it's something I want to accomplish in my life. It's my next goal. I set short-term and long-term goals in my life, throughout my recovery since 2011. I've been doing that, setting short, long, achieving them, start again, setting short, long-term, and trying to achieve them. Because I'm the type of person that when I get stagnant or, I don't know, life just gets, and in my mind, it's famous. I'm famous for saying, is that it? Is this what I got sober for? Is this all life is? I start getting stagnant, and that's a bad place for me. It's a bad place. I would say it's a bad place for any alcoholic. That's just my opinion, or addict. But it's a bad place for me since I'm using I statements. And so I like to, keep myself motivated and energized and looking for something. A gentleman told me a long time ago, he said, a man that has no future will always return to his past. And man, that stuck with me. That really stuck with me. And I was like, man, I don't want to go back to my past. So I need to keep planning my future and what those next steps look like and what my next goal is and what do I want to achieve, and keep myself motivated, because my past is something I never want to go back to. So it always stuck with me. But yeah, so I've just been doing that, just writing that. But I wanted to read a little section of the book, a little part that for my mom. But I will do that if you guys don't mind. But I'll do that as we get closer. Once towards the end, I'll read it for her. Because I wanted to send it to her for Mother's Day, but then my apologies, Mom. We did talk, so don't nobody come down on me. I did call her, tell I love her, hope she had a blessed day and all that, but we live in two different cities, so she was with my brother and my sister and hanging out and having fun, so that was awesome. Any other questions? All right. Well, let me read it. But y'all got to bear with me because I'm reading it off the computer. All right. So I'm going to read it. And I'll be looking down, not at the computer. All right. I entitled this section is called Flea Market. And it'll make sense as I read it. Hopefully. Let me know. And this also, I just want to preface it too. This is a rough draft. I haven't finalized it or put the touches on it. So, but I still want to read it to my mother for Mother's Day. And thank y'all for being here with me while I do that. But yeah, just bear with me. It's titled Flea Market. It says, my first couple of years in sobriety, I lived with my mother and mainly just went to meetings, worked with my sponsor, and tried to rebuild my life. One thing I did like to do is go to the flea market on the weekends. In Columbus, there's a couple of good ones at the time, and we were going, but we were always at Western Flea Market on the weekends. I love going to the flea market to this day, but that was a special time in my life. I felt like me and my mother were building back our relationship and making up for lost time by hanging out, getting to know each other again. I didn't have much of anything back then, especially money, but my mother saw that I was really trying to remain sober this time and doing all the right things. So she would buy me things that I needed and sometimes what I wanted. She would mainly buy me clothes, shoes, and all the essentials that I needed, but there was so much more. At this time in my life, she was the mother I always wanted as a kid, but felt like I didn't have. Since I have gotten older, I understood the abuse she went through with my father and how much control he had over her. And honestly, there wasn't much she could do back then because there weren't the resources that there is today to help people in domestic violence situations. She simply did the best she could with the cards she was dealt. My mother is not a very affectionate person, but I have always known that she loves me. I know that all she ever wanted was the best for me to get sober, for me to get my life together, and I'm so happy that I was able to give her the gift of seeing me sober and productive in my life. She is the toughest woman I know and never gave up on me. This time in early sobriety was tough because I wanted to drink every day. But it was also the greatest time because I got to be with my mother. I know it's strange for a grown man of 44 or 45 years old to want to his mother, but I honestly felt like a kid again that needed his mother's security and love. She provided that for me and then some. I could never repay her for being there with all that love and support. I just hope I made her proud. We would shop for hours at the flea market and come home out of there with bags and bags of stuff. We would then go get something to eat and talk about life or whatever I was doing in my recovery. She was retired at this point in her life and was home all day. So I seen her a lot. Despite whom I had become in my addiction and all the things that I had done, she taught me unconditional love. She showed me that everyone deserves a second, third, and even a fourth chance in my life because nobody's perfect. She helped give me my life back because without that chance, I probably would be dead and she would have to bury her son. When she told me that she went to the sober club and told them I was coming and to look out for me and to please help me, it melted my heart because I never felt that level of support in my addiction. When I moved out into my own place and she moved back to Cincinnati to be closer to my brother and sister, I still go to the flea markets on the weekend and reminisce on those early days in sobriety. Ma, I know we didn't talk as much as we should, but just know how much I love you, more than words can explain, and how much you mean to me. No matter where this crazy world takes me, I will always find a flea market to walk around on the weekends and think of you and those times we had together. I love you, Ma. Thank you. So yeah, that's just a little part of the book that I'm writing. Hopefully, get it done this year. But it's just a little piece of that, But it's I know you love me, Ma. Thank you. I hope you enjoyed it. Yeah, but it's a book filled with experience, strength, and hope. And I hope, from, my life, domestic violence, home, alcoholism, jail, everything's in there. And so I'm hoping that, somebody can read it and gain something of it. Got a little choked up there for a minute, thinking about those times. And time goes so fast, it goes so fast. Man, to think back, I've been sober 15 years now. Wow. Seems like yesterday that we was doing those things. And, I was still lost. And, and some people, in this business, they come to me and, they think I wanted to drink, and I didn't. I told my sponsor, I told my support people around me, and processed it, but it was a day-to-day struggle in the early days. That's all I had known. And I was learning a new way of life. So it was tough. And, but, addiction was tough. It got really hard. And so, anything worth having is going through the pain and the things that you need to go through to get to the other side. So, it's worth it. And trust me, anybody out there struggling or needing help, it's worth it. It really is, because my life is great. My life is great now. I don't have to struggle anymore or, worry about where that next drink's coming from or drug or I have a productive life. Yeah, my mom tells me all the time I never had any doubt. Um, and she didn't. She didn't. Even when I doubted myself, she didn't doubt me. And that was, how what they say in the rooms or even in treatment. I see something in you that you don't see in yourself. She definitely did. Um, but once I got to that first year working the steps and doing those things, I felt more confident that I was going to stay sober. Um, and it's started feeling those things I needed to feel, dealing with those things I needed to deal with. I became more confident in my sobriety, and so was able to. Then you never say you got this because, I'm one drink away from, being back in treatment, but I definitely felt more confident in the things I was doing to keep me sober, and in the things I had in place. I had good people around me, good sponsor, working the steps, um, service work, doing the next right thing, getting closer to my higher power. Um, yeah. 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 Bill was a good man. He was a good man. Definitely. Miss Bill, man. Miss him. He's no longer with us. Rest in peace, Bill. But yeah, relapse, is part of the program. And, um, it doesn't have to be. And I don't like that saying, relapse is part of the program because Karen, yes, Karen too. Karen was a big part of my sobriety. There for me. Yeah, I owe him. I owe him a lot, but that's what the program is. We give away what is given to us, and it helps us keep us sober. And they definitely did that to help me for sure. For sure. One thing I say is, I tell everybody, there's different ways to recover. AA, Celebrate Recovery, God, all these different things or programs or things you can do, or depending on your belief system, your worldviews, and things like that. But one thing you can't not have is a support system. I firmly believe that. I don't know how about you, but in my addiction, I tried to do it alone so many times. I would wake up in the morning and say, I'm done. That's it. Only to be drinking that evening, if not that morning again. So I never could do it alone. And I'm not here alone. So many people helped me along the way, so many. And the gift for me is to give it back to others that need help. I'm here, and my phone is on 24/7. Anybody that has my number, they know they can call me 24/7. No matter what capacity I'm in, whether I'm doing groups, individuals, just some, AA, anything on the street, whatever, I always answer because somebody did that for me, and it keeps me sober today, helping the next alcoholic or addict. And I enjoy it. It's something I enjoy. Sometimes I don't understand that they pay me to go to work. I'm at work like, are they really paying me for this? Geez, this is great. This is fun. Because as y'all know, I've almost talked for 40 minutes. I can run my mouth. I can talk about recovery all day. Y'all just give me a topic and let's talk about it. That's what I love to do. I do hour groups, man, or 2.5 hour groups, and I run over. Somebody got to stop me. They're like, okay, group's over. Okay, sorry. Because I just, once I get going. And I love the interaction. I love teaching. I really do. So, yeah. But thank you guys. Jordan, hey, Jordan, thank you for the fire. I love it. Thank you, man. Appreciate you. And thank you guys for allowing me to read that to my mom. I appreciate you. Appreciate that. Any other questions? Any other comments? Any other concerns? Got a few more minutes. Nope. I tell you, like I tell my group, not a very interactive crowd today. Are you guys up? Did you have your coffee? Oh wait, it's 5. It's 5 o'clock, ain't it? It's 5:30. You guys should be up, unless you're getting in from work and tired. I understand that. But I'm just home today in the office. All the Michigan stuff. I'm in Columbus, so the Ohio State fans are like, get that out of here. All right. Well, just wanted to jump on, see if there was any things going on, or let you guys know next week we'll be back at it. Co-host, we'll finish the steps 9 to 12, finish those up, and I'll be going live on the Midweek Vibes Facebook page. We're going to start rolling that. That's where we're going to be found at from now on. So everybody go to that on Wednesdays at 5. Thank everybody for going to there and subscribing and liking it, so that we can get that done and start going on there. Each week we've had more and more views. That's awesome. Get more and more views and likes and stuff. And we've had some great comments. We've had, like I said, not everybody's going to like everything we say. That's understandable. We understand that. But we've had some very constructive criticism. Nobody been disrespectful. That's real good. I know a lot of times on these things or different things I see, like people get disrespectful. Like I remember one time I made a video and just some guy commented under, you know you're white, right? And I'm like, well, duh. I've been white all my life. I think I know I'm white. This was long ago, not in this. I used to make some videos too. There's a bunch of videos that I made on YouTube, Addict Thoughts Entertainment page. And, I was telling life stories on there and just doing some fun stuff too. And that was years ago. And so somebody put that and I was like, wow, okay, I'm white? Ma, did you know I was white? So, but just, stuff like that. But we haven't had any really any hate or anything. We've had some constructive criticism, which we love, we take, and we try to implement, right? So, yeah. Or if anybody wants to go live, I think I seen on here I can bring you on camera or whatever, or talk, and if you wanted to. So, I'm all down for it. I just do these solo things and talk, try to interact when she has business. She's been doing some things, some big things too. So she's got some things going on. So when she's not here, I just jump on here just to do this, talk and interact. But I don't even know how to tell how many people's watching it or whatnot. But so, yeah. But yeah, back to it next week. Steps 9 through 12. We'll be breaking them down. And then we pick topics. If you guys got some topics, if you got some topics that you'd like to hear us discuss, or something you're struggling with, like Richard, he came on and was, struggling. I know Richard. Richard's my guy. And sometimes you just need this outlet. Sometimes you just need to, get on and talk about your things. And that's the most therapeutic thing you can do, is talk about it. Don't hold those things in, because when we hold them in, they only, they only fester. They eat at us, and so we got to get those things out and talking about them. And us men, and some women too. I'm just saying, men, we have trouble talking about our feelings and talking about our emotions. talking about our hurt and our pain because of our ego and pride. You know, I had a client tell me the other day, like, dang, what did he say? We was talking about something, and he said, like, I'm not a fragile man or something like that, you know. And I was like, okay, I don't think that's the word he used, but it's close, like something like that. And I was like, I don't want you to be fragile. I want you to be vulnerable. You know, you got to be a vulnerable man, because when we turn our vulnerabilities into strengths, when we talk about them, and that's the key. And that's what we don't acknowledge, that I have to talk about my vulnerabilities and my hurt and my pain, because I need to turn those into strengths. When I don't talk about them, they're not strengths. They're holding me down. They're holding me back from being my full potential. And so I have to talk about those things and be vulnerable enough to say I hurt, to say I'm in pain, you know, and to say this affected me this way or that way. And then I can grow from it and understand more about myself. And that turns my vulnerability into a strength. So that's what I'm proud of you, Richard. I hope, if he's still on here, I hope so. But I'm proud of you for talking about it, man, and being a man, and understanding that, man, because it's going to become your strength through this process. Believe me. Because I believe, you know, a child needs a mother and a father, you know, for that balance. There's going to be some things a child can go to the mother about and learn and grow. And there's going to be some things a child needs their father for, to learn and grow and to be the best version of themselves. Now, don't get me wrong. Some great single parents out there with some great kids. Don't get me wrong. Applaud, Mother's Day just passing, applaud to all you single mothers raising great children. I see it. And that's amazing. There's some single dads out there that I know from working in this field and things that they've went through, and they're raising their children great, and they have great children. Applause. And anybody that knows me, I love to see good dads. I do. It does something to me when I see men spending time with their children and loving their children and supporting their children emotionally, physically, mentally. That just, man, it does something to me. And anybody that knows me or been in my groups with me or, you know, done something with me in the past, they know that. Like, I love to see great dads, man. It just melts my heart. It melts my heart. And you have to break that cycle, because, and I'm just saying this, my dad wasn't a great dad, and I wasn't either. So, you know, they're watching us. They do as we do. And I have some sons that are great fathers, and thank God for that. And some daughters that are great mothers. Yes. My daughter is a great mother. I'm sorry, my other daughter don't have kids. But so yeah. But I firmly believe a child needs both parents, man. If they have that opportunity, it makes things 10 times better, for sure. And I love to see it. I love to. But a lot of times, you know, when we have those broken relationships, like I said before, the pain, the hurt, those things block our ability to co-parent, because, you know, maybe we still love that person, or we're not over the relationship, or things happen in a relationship where we get angry and upset at that person and resent that person. And then those things transfer to the children, and not being allowed to see them or interact with them. And it hurts. It hurts. And I've been there too. But it was all my own doing. Like, I was drinking and drugging, and thank God, you know, my children's mothers, they didn't let me see the kids in that state. And they shouldn't have, you know. But back then, I'm like, fuck them, and they this and they that, and na. It's all their fault. And that, nope, it's mine. It's mine. I couldn't stay sober long enough to visit with my kids. That's a me problem, not them, you know. And so I didn't, but, you know, when you're in denial, when you're in addiction, when you think you're the best version of yourself, you're not. You're not. But I thought I was, and I was terrible. Didn't really, and then when you get sober, you realize just who you was then, and that, no, you wasn't. You wasn't right. Wasn't a good father. By no means. And thank God they had good mothers, great mothers. My children have awesome and wonderful mothers, and I thank God for them. Because they did what I couldn't do. So I love my children, though. I do love my children. And I believe, and I know sometimes it's like a cop-out, but like I loved them the best I could, right? I mean, I never was taught love. And quite frankly, I didn't love myself. And so if we don't love ourselves, how are we capable of loving someone else? You know? I always say, like, if I can't sit in a room by myself, what makes me think someone wants to sit with me? They don't, you know? So we have to get ourselves right. It's important. It's important. Love ourselves. And I always say, too, you know, you have to, once you love yourself, your self-worth, your self-esteem, your foundation, your morals, your values, your belief system, and you're pouring into yourself, everybody around you benefits. You know, your family benefits, your work benefits, your kids benefit. You know, those things that you want to chase, you don't have to anymore. When you pour into yourself, they just come to you. You know, so many of us chase money, but if we had just invested ourselves, that money comes to us. You know, I stopped chasing money. I stopped chasing the idea of wealth and being rich and all those things, and invested in myself through education and knowledge, you know, and work experience and life. And when I invested, the money came. I don't chase it anymore. I don't have to worry about it. You know, belief in my higher power, growing stronger and deeper in that. You know, these are all investments in myself. So invest in yourself today. Invest in, if it's something you're chasing, analyze it and think to yourself, how can I invest in myself? And watch those things come. I believe that wholeheartedly. Wholeheartedly. Any more questions? I'm about to get off of here and maybe eat. Maybe get something to eat. It's about that time. It's been a long day. Nope. All right, everybody. Hopefully see you next week. Midweek's Vibe page, please. We'll be moving over there. I'm excited. And let's get it going. We're going to have some great topics coming up. Also, I'm going to have some guests on. And anybody that wants to come on with me and wants to share your story, please contact me. If you have my number, or you can DM message me on Facebook. Let's get it going. I got a couple lined up already that I'm going to be doing. So I'm going to be trying to probably do that on Fridays. You'll be able to catch the videos though, and then or YouTube, where I'm going to put them all on there and here. Hopefully I'm going to go live. I'm setting it all up, but it's going to be like my little section of it. Hey, Lindsay, what's up? Yeah, definitely. We talked about, I want you to do your story for sure. No doubt. You got a story to tell and people need to hear it. So for sure. So I'm going to probably be starting that like on, I don't know, hopefully next month. I want to start every Friday and doing a Friday segment where I have people telling their stories. Like I said, I got about, 4 people set up so far. So, but if you're interested, message me, let me know. We'll talk about it, and then we'll get you on. Yep. It's going to be story time. Give your testimonies. Because there's a lot of people out there that got some strong ones, and people need to hear it. Not just me, a lot of people. So, yeah, we're going to be starting that. That's going to be exciting, too. So, everybody have a great day, and I will talk to you guys later.